Good afternoon, Galveston and Galveston ISD communities. I am Stephanie Fontenot. I'm the Director of Communications and Marketing with GISD, and we are back with Dr. Jerry Gibson, our superintendent, for the next edition of All Things GISD. So, Dr. Gibson, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Good. Came from a meeting. I got another one, and then another one.
Yeah.
That's today. Yep. That's my Wednesdays.
You had a late night last night, too.
Yeah, we had a little training. It was good. But it was late. Yeah. My puppies miss me.
I bet they do.
They do. And Tamerlane.
Yeah. Well, okay, so we are going to talk about two things today.
Yep.
One is super important. They both are very important.
I agree.
But the first is more of a follow-up of an event that we held recently. So we renamed the baseball stadium and had a wonderful event honoring a very special individual.
And we dodged the rain.
That's great.
Yeah, we were a little stressed about that and made little plans, big plans, just in case. What are we going to do? We had about 2 or 3 different scenarios, and yeah, as you know, everybody knows Bo Caroga. I won't even call him Roger Bo because everybody knows Bo Caroga. And in fact, I sat in for you one day. I don't even know if I didn't tell you I was doing that. Hope you weren't mad. But just to let everybody, I wanted to hear from Bo. I let everybody. I would only shaken his hand a couple of times, but just to talk about the experience of high school baseball and the choices he had to make between going to University of Texas and playing or taking. He was drafted in the first round and everything. It was really neat. It was neat for me, but and then we ran that a couple of days before the Friday where we did the renaming, and I know we had a couple of TV stations here and big article in the newspaper and everything else, and I think it was very fitting. I can't say enough. I want to start. There's a lot of people that go into events. There's a lot of people that go into day-to-day operations that are unsung heroes, making sure that our schools are clean, making sure our lunches are prepared, our bus drivers, making sure kids get to school safely and get home safely. But, Delton Kelly, he's over our maintenance department. He's a supervisor there, the maintenance. And, man, he and his staff, oh my word, I'm talking about, there's some areas that begin to look bad, some rust had shown, and then they began to work and prime and paint and everything else. Our athletic director, Bob Jones, he got with the company and we got things put out there. Just the backside of the press box is just all about basically pictures growing up, even to when, not that long ago, more recent. And it really just kind of tells the story. And so that night to me was very, very special. We kept it very minute by minute because they still had to play baseball that night. And so, we had to start on time. And so it was a great night. His family was there. That some came in from, out of the area, maybe in the greater Houston area or up near Livingston, everything else. And it really went well. I think Bo was moved. Our board members that were there were moved at how well it was done, and it was done right. It was done well. Our students were there, video and taking pictures, but they're another unsung heroes. If you see something going on in GISD, then they're there. They're taking pictures, they're videoing, and they give us. One, it's great training for them. For some of them that might want to open a photography studio or be a photographer. I had a flight the other day. I was talking to a guy. He got into photography in high school, and he was the photographer for the athletic department at Texas Tech University for 4 years, and now he works for the AP, Associated Press, and I mean, it all started for him in high school. And so anyway, they were there, but it was a great night, and Bo's a big guy. He's a man's man, and he was moved to tears. And so that's when we know that it was good. It was special. And I don't, always questions about this. We're not doing anything different than a lot of other places have been, because they said, well, it says Tor Field on the scoreboard. It's still Tor Field. It's Bo Caroga Stadium. So it's Tor Field at Bo Caroga Stadium. And so, you can go to the University of Texas, and it's Darrell K. It's Darrell K. Royal Field or Darrell K. Royal Stadium at Memorial. Anyway, that's what people do in marketing nowadays. So, we're still the Tours. and he's still Bo, and we're mixing them together, and we got a great product. But it was a good thing, and then we won the game 2-1, a really exciting game. So yeah, it was a great night. Great night.
Yeah, and I know the public, if they haven't already seen the stadium, you can drive by and you can see his name. It's real pretty on the side of the wall of the dugout.
Right.
Go buy tickets and go see a name to see that wall, because that wall, when I saw it, I was like, wow, it's pretty. So yeah.
There's 2 big events coming up also, and I know there's something else that we have that we want to talk about that's really important, and we'll talk more about that. But tonight, our one-act play, who advanced to the 3rd round, and they're the alternate for the next round. They were the basically meaning they finished 3rd, alternate play. They're doing their one-act play tonight here at Ball High School at 7 p.m. So if people want to get out there and see that, Tammy and I were going round 2, and always listen to your GPS. They said go 146 at Barbers Hill, and I was like, no, everybody's been. It's been saying all week go 45 to the Beltway to 10. Well, now I know why. There was a wreck, and we sat there and ended up missing it. But anyway. So that's tonight, and also Saturday night is a really big and it's a very fun event. It's a senior serve. So it's an opportunity for our students to serve the tables and give back. They're the wait staff and everything else. You need to go. I have room at my table if you want to go. We'll talk. Yeah, I might give you a directive on that one. And but that's 6 o'clock here, and I think you're probably going to need tickets to get in. But if you don't have them, I'm sure they probably still have some. I know there's some students that have space at their table, and what that is a chance for us to tip the students, and it goes all towards project graduation, which keeps them safe and in one place after graduation. So that's Saturday at 6 p.m. here at Ball High School. So there's a lot of things still going on as we're getting ready for that, graduation season. So I snuck those in. I know you didn't talk to me about
that's great. That's great. Nick, are you going to be there? Nick is our producer again. He's a senior. He's going to graduate soon, but he's behind the camera. We asked him to be on camera today again to say thank you, but he opted out of that. But we want to say thank you to Nick because he's amazing, and we appreciate all his work this year helping with these segments.
He's about to run out of veto power, though. He vetoes us every time, but
yeah, we only got him on camera once, so next time before he graduates.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
He's pretty strong-willed, He's
Well, okay, so we are going to move on, and I would think this is probably, I know earlier in the year, the high school and the district as a whole certainly went through some very tough times.
Yes.
This is a topic that is very serious in its own way, extremely serious, probably one of the most that I guess we've addressed on this segment and you. So it's the fentanyl crisis, which is prevalent way too much in way too many places. But it's alive in Galveston County way more than it should be, and we want to keep our students safe. So
yeah, it's I was told a little over a week ago that actually that Galveston County is the #1 county for fentanyl use and overdoses. I have since learned that is not accurate. We are not the #1 county, but we're in the top 5. And so I got an invitation 2 weeks ago, something like that, and it was from someone associated with Governor Abbott, inviting me to go to basically it's more than a press conference. It was it was a forum, is what it was, about fentanyl, and they used 3 different groups. The first one was some doctors, some nurses, some parents, some advocates, and a student from a district not far from Austin. And, the parent has lost a son. The student had lost a classmate. In fact, her particular school, they've had 10 overdoses this year that resulted in students' lives. And I know that about 2 weeks ago, yourself, Chief Rivas, UTMB, we did a parent night. I think we only had about 25 or 28 people, and I've heard from parents saying we need to make our students aware. Do we have Narcan, which is what is really the only thing that can save your life if it's the dosage is too much. But it was called One Pill Kills is what the summit was called. And they broke it down to about 4 different sections, and they would talk for 30, 40, 50, actually 40 to 45 minutes. They would take a break and take down the area, the stage area, and repurpose it for the next group. And the second group was some sheriffs from around the state, FDA, Federal Drug Administration, other law enforcement agents, and in fact, during that session, one sheriff said in his county the night before they had an overdose and they had to do 8 doses of Narcan to save the guy, and he's alive. It's touched our city. Back in the December, it was Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I know there were 2 overdoses. People worked at some of our local restaurants. We had a situation that affected it's a student. It wasn't a student, but it was in their household. And so, you know what, Stephanie, I remember sitting there listening, and I'm taking notes. I'm just writing things down, and I'm listening in amazement. And I leaned over to my wife and I said, "This scares me to death." How easy it is to get the fentanyl right now. There's some other students that talked. They said it's as simple in their particular school, and and this isn't one where they're not lax. I mean, they have security. They do this. They have everything they can. But it's like, hey, meet me in the bathroom in 5 minutes, and they're getting out of class, going, and they're getting it. And they might be going to parties and exchanging things, and they talked about how things are getting laced with a bag of chips. And I know at one time when this has been going on for a couple of years, but it was this school year. I don't know if you remember, they talked about, be careful when you open your car door, because if it's on there, it can, it's just, it's like scary times that we live in, but it is hitting age groups that are mainly in their early 20s and in some teens. The last section was every parent that could go that had lost a child, and they were there with their pictures and everything. And what do you do? What do you do? You know how I feel. These students are mine. I'm their father. They're mine from when they get to school until when they go home, and that's how personal I take it with our students and their safety. And I want to do everything that I can to keep them safe. We're going to do something next week. I came home burdened, concerned, scared. I don't know if they realize, really, like it says, one pill kills. And one doctor even said, if you take a regular pill and you cut it in half, and they said one side could be laced, the other side couldn't, and it showed a picture of a pencil and just the lead and little bitty spot. I've seen pictures of a penny in one little spot. They said if you open if you go to a restaurant and you have a little package of sugar, if that was all that size right there was fentanyl, it would kill 500 people. It could kill 500 people. And it's coming into our country. And anyway, so our assistant principals about 2 weeks ago saw a PowerPoint. UTMB had put it out. Now, of course, UTMB, they're a medical school, so it goes into great depth, which is more than maybe students need to see, know, or understand. But also TEA, Texas Education Agency, has put out something. And so we are in the process right now of kind of merging those two, where it is a strong message, but it is a simple message. And so next week on our campuses, and we're going to go in, let me tell you what we're going to do, and then I'm going to give some parameters. Every classroom, every student that is third grade on up. You say, why third grade? There was testimony of some elementary schools, and when the student doesn't know what they don't know, But we're going to go through a PowerPoint, and it's going to be age appropriate. For an elementary, for a fourth grader or even a fifth grader, it might be more of a dare thing, don't do drugs, the dangers, etc. But when you get into the middle school, they know what's going on. High schoolers, they certainly know what's going on. It's going to get specific, and it's going to be taught. My goal was coming back that I wanted a specific day, whether it wasn't going to be Monday because we were going to get final production done of the PowerPoint, and also get letters to go out. We want letters going out to the parents telling them this is what's going to happen. Originally, like I said, I wanted it one particular day at one particular time, 9:30 a.m., 10 a.m., whatever it is. We stop our day of instruction for 15 minutes, for 20 minutes, whatever it is, and across the board, we do this. And I went so far as to say I want administrators in the hallway monitoring that every single person, every teacher that had a classroom at that time was going to go over this PowerPoint. But I talked to our principals yesterday in the principals meeting, because I always, at the end of the day, it's their campus, right? And I said, okay, let's do this. Instead of me saying, let's do that, which I thought would have been great. In theory, it's great. Let's just put it that way. I want it done by Friday, though. So they have the freedom to do whatever is best for their campus. They know their schedules. They know the teaching schedules. I know there's some testing going on next week. But we're going to tell the message. If a parent is watching this, if you're watching this and you think, I don't want my child to know, there's an opt-out letter. And I told the principals, if you get an opt-out letter and a child says, I don't want to do this, then put a place, give them 20 minutes. They can go sit in the library or go to the gym or do something. And of course, they'll be supervised. But I hope that everybody sees that we are going to be, I don't think I'm proactive on this. I think we're reactive, because I think it's something that's going on right now. And I'm sorry for that we weren't more proactive. But I want our students aware. As you stated when you started, we buried 2 students in September for a different reason. That's too many. There's been some students that have lost parents. Dr. Post, Jeff Post, is our executive director for elementary education, and this was 2 weeks ago, and he made the statement. He said, yesterday was the day that student's life was changed forever. Right. And that hit me. Mm-hmm. That hit me so hard. Yeah, this is true. So I don't think we sit by and do nothing. There are some parents that I've heard from the last few months that said, what are we doing for our students? And they're going to be thankful. They're going to understand. I also know that there are going to be some that are going to be critical. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. They're probably, if we lost a student and we didn't do anything, then it would be, why didn't you do something? Why didn't you do something? Why didn't you do something? I understand that whatever we do is going to be wrong in some people's eyes. But I'm doing this because I fight for students. The day I stop fighting for students will be the day I retire. I want them to really know and have their eyes wide open of the dangers. They were comparing this to COVID. They were saying that, in that it's that big of an epidemic, and how many students, they have the numbers. In fact, I have them in my office of how many people have died each year, and really how easy it is to get, but how smart the people that are distributing, how smart they are to get it into the right hands, etc. And I've heard of testimonies of people that have said, I got my Narcan, I'm okay. They were going into, some events or whatever, and it got my attention. And I don't mean to sound arrogant, but when things come out from TEA, I've always said, okay, well, we're going to figure it out. People are stressed. I said, it's okay, guys. we're going to see what the rules are. We're going to play by the rules. You know, people say, oh, the way they're testing this year, this was, you know, it's just not fair. It's not fair. And I'm like, just tell us what the rules are. We're going to play by the rules and we're going to win. That's always been my attitude. And I know that there's a lot of things, and I try not to overreact. I do get excited from time to time about things and overreact. This got my attention. Hearing from students, hearing from parents, hearing from the drug enforcement agents, hearing from sheriffs at where it's bad in their counties. It's a problem. It's a problem, and I don't want it to. If for some reason it's going to affect our children, I think we need to do everything in our power to at least tell them how dangerous things are. And I know children are going to be children. I got that. I remember one time I was teaching over 20 years ago, teaching a middle school PE class, and the water, something had happened to the water, and they went through there and they were like, you can't drink the water. We don't know if it's safe. You can't drink the water. You don't know if it's safe. And they went in and covered with trash bags and taped up over every water fountain. They went and bought every bottled water that city had, and we had it for our kids and everything else. And, you know, at the end of the day, you see where it had been ripped off. You know, the plastic had been ripped off. And I'm like, you know, you drink that, and we don't know if it's safe, and you're still going to do it. We can only control what we can control. And we can control warning our students and warning our parents. And I hope and pray that the parents see it that way, that we are trying to help them. I'm not trying to scare anyone or anything else. This is serious. This is really, really serious.
It really is like an invisible killer.
Yeah, it is. Good way to put it. And so it's a very aggressive thing. You know, they even went into the details of that it attacks the base of the brain, and it makes the base of the brain basically go numb, or, you know, I won't say die because it comes back when you're out from under the influence of the drug, but it's at the base of the brain that controls our respiratory system. So when that part of the brain relaxes, someone will just stop breathing. And so, you know, that it's
Scary.
yeah, it really is. And I want anyone who's watching parents know we have Narcan is what the antidote to it, and we have Narcan on every campus. I think we need more, and I'm working on that right now. You know, I went so far as to say, I wish every teacher had it in their desk drawer. And if that takes board action, and I asked the Commissioner of Education, does that take board action? He said, I don't know, let me check. And he emailed me on Monday and told me yes. But I would put that in front of our board. Now we got to be able to get that much. But if we don't have it in every classroom, I think we need it on in different areas of our building, let's just say. Because let's just use this high school. You know, as we're sitting here, not quite below us, but very close is where the nurse's office, and across from that is teen health, and both those have Narcan. What if something happened on the second floor on that far end?
Right.
Let's walk through that.
Right.
We have a student down. We don't know what's going on. So we call the nurse. We call teen health. And they go running to assess the situation.
Right.
And they assess it. And they said, oh, it could be
Yeah,
fentanyl.
all the way back.
Then you got to go all the way, go back down. But what if we had it in, you know, various areas of our buildings so that they could immediately get something that can potentially save a life? And that's one of my goals. I don't know if that would need board action, but I have confidence in our board. We could get a motion in a second. I think if we get a unanimous vote that we're going to, you know, we always say we're going to do what's best for kids. Well, saving a life of a child is pretty important. So that is best for the child. So there are some things that we are going to look at, and we're going to be strategic on this. But the first thing we're going to do is next week we're going to talk to our children and our high schoolers, our middle schoolers, and that's just it'll be done. Everyone will be done by next Friday.
Great. And it sounds like
because the kids, if we have a unified front kind of with what we tell them and then hopefully what families at home tell them,
Right.
stress, then it's just two really, really important entities in their lives that are stressing the same thing here and at home. So we also need help, families help to
You know,
express the same thing.
school districts do, it's a national thing at the same time of the year, Red Ribbon Week, saying we're drug free. There are DARE programs that are, say no to drug type. Those things are going on every year, districts all across America. And they're great programs. But this is really specific. So we're not doing anything we don't do anyway. We're just being specific about the dangers of what is the big thing right now, I guess you could say, for lack of better terms. So I hope, I really do, I hope that our entire community and the parents see this. I wish it could be unanimous, that they said, man, we see this as a positive, thank you. But I'm smart enough to realize that might not be the case.
Right. Well, very important. So all of that will happen by the end of next week.
Yes.
Well, good.
And there'll be opt-out letters. Like I said, there'll be opt-out letters. And if a parent says, I don't want my child to hear the PowerPoint, then they won't.
Right.
The parents will do what the parents want. But for those that say yes, then we're going to teach them all we can.
Right. I know even within those efforts, I believe we already have some information too, like from TEA, like you mentioned, with some visuals and things.
Yes.
That could be accessed.
I mean, it will be age appropriate,
Yes.
Not trying to make it where a child comes home and has nightmares or anything else. And that's why we stopped really at third grade. And if that's the wrong decision, needs to be fourth grade or fifth grade, then that's fine with me. I just don't like losing my children.
Well, thank you for keeping student safety highest. So that's very clear that is what you care about the most. So thank you for doing that.
Most important job I have. Keeping our students and our employees safe.
They're precious, every
Yeah.
one of them. They really are. Okay, well, is there anything else you would like to add to this segment?
Wow.
We covered a lot.
Yeah, we did. There's a lot of activities going on. I hope people get out and support our lady tours and our tours and tracks and regionals. Our ladies golf team, varsity golf team, they advanced to regionals. That's in Montgomery, Texas, next Monday and Tuesday. We got a lot of stuff. We just didn't really. You and I thought we need to make it specific about what's going on. But I certainly want to give Senior Serve, shout out there. That's always fun. I always enjoy that, watching the students and so there's silent auction events or things that people bid on, mainly my wife, and so she's an active bidder, I promise you.
That's right. She's supporting.
Yeah, she is. Yep, she's spending money. You're right. But you're supporting. I like the way you put it. You ladies always have a different twist on that. It's kind of like you go to the mall. I always grab Tammy's hand. I really do, because a lot of people, she thinks this is so romantic. This is so romantic. I think it's a budget. It's a budget solution.
That's what I was thinking.
Hold her hand. Yeah, keeps her from wandering off and doing that. So yeah. So she thinks it's romantic. So don't tell her any different.
No, not at all.
No.
Well, we can all support Saturday as much as we can.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It's always fun. It's a really cool thing. And there's performances. The guys that do a little dance, our tornettes, usually like our officers or something, they'll do there's a little bit of entertainment along the way. But it's great seeing our kids work, and it's a good chance to, yes, they're raising money, but they're not saying, hey, just give it to me. Yeah. They're earning it. They're working. And so it's a fun event.
They're going to graduate before we know it, too.
Yeah. That's these kids get in my heart so much. It's graduation is it's gonna be tough, man. There's one. I had a couple students last year I was really, really close to, and I haven't even seen them since graduation. They must not. They don't love me.
Yeah.
Kind of like my grandson told me that time. I just don't love you anymore, Granddad. So
come back around.
I hope so.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I think this has been especially informative and important. So we hope everybody watches. For all those other events and information, go to our website. We're always putting new calendar and invitations and events and news stories there. So it's GISD.org. So thank you again, Nick, for producing this for us. And we'll see you back in 2 weeks for the next segment. All right. Thank you.